So my dad has had quite a few obstacles in his life, and I'll talk about those later in the speech, but he's still very successful today and has managed to pull through all these obstacles and be very successful. He's also my best friend and supports me through everything. I kind of almost think of both my parents as like older siblings instead of my parents, because I do live with my grandma, and my parents are like pretty young. They had me when they were 21, so most of the time, I don't know, my parents don't really tell me what to do or anything. My grandma's more the one that does, so me and my dad get along very well, even though I'm kind of, I don't know how to explain it, he's just kind of more like my older brother than my dad. My dad is one of my biggest motivators and inspirations in my life, and I deeply admire his qualities of hard work, generosity, and perseverance. My dad owns his own business from where he's come from, which I think is really cool, and it's a suit business, and it's in Maple Grove. So if you ever need a suit for prom or anything, you know, check it out, whatever. Growing up, people would probably look at my dad and think, you know, he's not really going anywhere in life, because he got into drugs pretty early in his life. Like, I'm talking like 6th grade. He got caught selling cigarettes and got kicked out of school, so not the best child you can think, I guess. And so after he started getting into drugs, my grandma sent him to this camp in Montana, where basically you get up at 5 a.m. and you read the Bible, and then you go outside and you do like labor work, like you build fences, you dig holes, like kind of like the movie Holes, if you've ever seen that. It's pretty much just like that. And otherwise, some kids, you can either choose to take your GED test and then you don't have to do school or whatever, and then you just work, or you go to school and still, it's like Catholic school pretty much. And he was there till the day he turned 18, and then he drove back to Minnesota, but his mom told him, you can't live here. So he was homeless for a while in his car, and it was very hard for him to get a job since he only had his GED and like didn't have a college education or anything. But he still started his own business and is very successful today. Equally as important as his quality of hard work is his passion for others and generosity. I like to think I'm quite the generous person. I don't know, maybe some beg to differ, but I definitely get that quality from my dad. He always tips waitresses and waiters like a ton. Like one time we went to this restaurant and the waitress was like obviously like super busy, and she was just really stressed, like you could just tell, and my dad ended up tipping her like $100, and she broke down crying because she just needed the money, I guess. And he was also born in Paraguay and adopted when he was 3 by my grandparents. But obviously Paraguay is like a super poor country. It's a third world country. And if you don't know where Paraguay is, it's kind of by Brazil in South America. And so he still has a ton of family down there, like a lot of siblings and all that. And a lot of them, since they don't have much money, he sends his siblings money sometimes. And also my grandma, or his biological mom, he pays for her house partially. I think one of my other aunts who lives in New York is also adopted. She helps pay for it too. But yeah, so he helps pay for her house, even though it's not that much, since in Paraguay, obviously, it doesn't cost as much to live in a house as it does here. My dad is also one of those people who loves to buy things for people, but hates getting things. Like, he will not accept a gift ever if you get him anything, or if you talk about getting him a birthday present, he's just gonna say, no, I just want to hang out with you, or something like that. My dad, being so generous, also comes from how he perseveres through life. He's been through many hard times, from being stuck on drugs, being sent away from everyone he loves to a whole different state, and being young and homeless, and like I said earlier, having a kid super young at 21, which obviously it's not easy to be a parent when you don't really have a big support system. His parents weren't really there to help him very much. And he still has always taken me shopping, even when we can't afford it, and let me buy whatever I want. He'll always pick up extra shifts if I need basketball shoes or something like that, any sports equipment I need. And he's just a super big inspiration for me, and I just think it's super impressive how far he's come from, you know, not really having much, being homeless, and not really coming from much. My dad motivates me every day through his perseverance, generosity, and hard work. My dad would not be who he is without these qualities, and anyone who knows him can agree he's an amazing man. I hope everyone finds someone as supportive as my dad. When I was first going to move to this school, my athletic directors, a lot of my volleyball teammates were telling me like, oh, you shouldn't move, it's not the right decision. And my dad always told me, oh, you should just do whatever makes you happy, what you think is best, and all that stuff. So I really hope everyone can find someone who supports you through every decision. And in conclusion, don't feel like just because you're going through a rough patch in life that it means you aren't going anywhere. There are endless possibilities, and pushing through all the hard times and staying true to yourself and what you love will take you far. Thank you for listening to my speech.